Welcome everybody back to the channel. Today we're going over the topic of our next live stream, which is a new dungeon and a new world boss. And I'm gonna give you guys some details, a little bit of what we know, some speculation maybe, and what we think we might see on this live stream, or what might be surprising to see on this live stream. So let's get into it. Now, it's already been confirmed, like I said, that we are going to see the dungeon, we are going to see a new world boss, we are going to see Firebrand, which is obviously a dragon, right? So we know it's going to be a dragon. You've seen the promotional stuff at the beginning of the video that Intrepid has put out, with my speculation on something that we heard from Margaret. So let's get into Firebrand first, right? So what do we know? Again, it's going to be a dragon. We know, typical dragon mechanic fights for raid bosses and what that entails. My hope here is that Intrepid puts their own spin on this world boss. I hope that they take, the standard approach that we all are, accustomed to in the MMO genre of fighting a dragon boss or a dragon type mob. It spits fire, it does tail things, it goes up in the air, it maybe slams down on the ground. It does all sorts of things, right? We know these types of mechanics, so I'm hoping that they put their own spin on these types of mechanics. They add their own flair and whatnot to the fight itself. I would anticipate, the fight being, different stages as well, depending on his maybe HP or whatnot, right? How much health he's got left, maybe different phases or stages that this dragon goes in. And that's supported by something Margaret said in the live stream, which was that Firebrand has two forms. And she posed it as a question, and I don't remember if Steven acknowledged it or expanded on it. I think it was something that was a little bit of a spoiler, a little bit of a leak. What do I think we will see as far as Firebrand goes? Like I said, here is what we know so far. This is the promo art that they're using for Firebrand. You can see it's obviously a dragon and whatnot, and it looks very similar to the dragon type that we saw in Alpha 1. There was a dragon during Alpha 1 testing that, went over fairly well. It had pretty, like I said, similar mechanics to what we are normally accustomed to with fighting a dragon would be like. Now, my spin on this is, again, we were told there's two forms of the dragon, right? So we see the dragon itself here. But what if the dragon turned into something else? What you're seeing now is a speculation that I have as maybe a potential second form to Firebrand. And why do I say that? Well, the picture is of what was recorded in the wiki as is a lieutenant form of one of the fallen, right? Of one of the big, the calamity bringers, the apocalypse ending type entities, right, of the world of Vera. So I think that maybe this could be a early precursor to a secondary form for Firebrand. We will just have to see what that secondary form becomes, right? Outside of that, we know very little about, the upcoming boss, the world boss. We're going to see a lot of it coming on the stream here in a few days. Now, we also are getting a look at a new dungeon. We know for sure from our Alpha 2 roadmap that we're getting 3 pocket dungeons and 1 grand dungeon. So we know that the Tower of Carfin is the grand dungeon. So we're getting a look at one of the first pocket dungeons. And we've already been given the name and seen the exterior of the second one, I believe, which is the Halls of Adjudication, that we saw back during the Mage Showcase. They did not go into the Halls of Adjudication, but we were right there. So we can assume that we're going to see you know, the Steel Bloom dungeon and the Halls of Adjudication dungeon, as well as a third pocket dungeon that we have yet to see. My guess is going to be that they're going to leave that third dungeon for the next live stream, the September live stream, before Alpha 2 launches in October. So I do plan to see, you know, or hope to see that third dungeon at some point. What do we know about the dungeon that we're going to see, right? Well, we've seen the Steel Bloom cosmetic set, armor set, way back a few years ago. I think it's at least like 2 years ago, maybe even longer, that we saw the Steel Bloom set. It was, I believe they were black and gold or black and yellow in color. They had both a male and female model wearing these, and they had this giant rose petal or bloom on the left shoulder, as well as it looked like a bloom on the cape of itself. So we've seen these, and this was part of a cosmetic pack, so we know that this is an in-game asset or an asset that they had developed already. We have also seen, I think, one of the monsters that was part of the cosmetic pack that included the Steel Bloom armor set. We know that Steel Bloom has been part of the lore of Ashes now for a little bit. They were an order that was close to the Aelin Queen before the mass Exodus event, the apocalyptic event that has happened. So they're a order from the past. And one thing I think that folks are not picking up on is that cosmetic, when they showed it, showed skeletons within wearing the armor. They were like this aura skeleton, this ethereal looking, you know, skeleton wearing this armor set. So my speculation is going to be that this order somehow got resurrected, maybe by Firebrand or, you know, some other kind of event that happened. And this order now either believes that it's still there to protect, or it's just going to be there on a, you know, eternal plane here in Vera and taking on us as a player. Because this is going to be an enemy faction within the game itself. So I do, you know, hope to see them populating the world. As far as everything else goes, you know, it's too much to speculate on a lot of things, guys. You know, some of the stuff is pure speculation and copium. Some of it is based in stuff that we know. I try and stay grounded when we go over some topics. So I'm very excited for this month's live stream. It's coming fresh off the heels from our AMA, our Alpha 2 roadmap. Lots of content that we threw out onto the channel for that. If you haven't, please do subscribe. If you're getting value out of today's video or out of some of those videos. They've been doing very well. I have noticed that a vast majority of you who are watching and returning to the channel are not subscribed to the channel. It would help out the channel a lot if you do subscribe. I do appreciate that. It's free. It costs you nothing. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button. You don't even have to turn notifications on. I know sometimes notifications get on people's nerves. But I just wanted to do a quick video, speculations on this month's live stream. Firebrand and his two forms, what we might see, and the Steel Bloom, you know, dungeon and faction that we are going to see as well, coming out of this month's live stream. We did also see that the armor set that the Bard was wearing in the Bard's showcase is also an armor set that you can get out of this dungeon. So there's two armor sets that we've already seen. One we've seen the cosmetic pack for and the 3D modeling pack for, and then we also did see the in-game character wearing the Bard armor set. So again, two armor sets coming out of this dungeon. I'm excited. Leave your comments in the comments below on you know, what you're excited for. Again, please go ahead, subscribe. All the social media information is linked down below, and we'll see ya on the next one.